Okay, so it's 1 o'clock in the morning, or my body thinks it's 2 o'clock in the morning. And we've had a craziest night. I'm still, I don't know, she just can't sleep very long. But she's doing so good on her walks. Like, our walk has gone so much bigger. And now she runs on the walk and stuff. So, which I know yesterday that probably kicked her ass, because dogs that have hip dysplasia and arthritis aren't supposed to run. But, you know, she's a dog. Sometimes she wants to run. But then at night, then she's like so uncomfortable, because I'm sure she's just aching and aching. And then plus the intensity on the planet. And yesterday I forgot, one of the things I forgot to say, probably a whole shit ton, but was when I was sitting by the window. And one of the times where I was awake, where I was thinking, I think it's around midnight or something, but I heard someone talking outside my window. It was so fucking creepy. And so then I was like, where is that talking coming from? And so I was trying to tune into it. I think I stopped the sounds on the TV. I'm not really sure. I can't remember. But then I heard a different talking. And then I was like, okay, it must be outside. It must just be voices carrying across. It must just be people like walking down the street or something. It was so fucking creepy though. Oh my God, I was so creeped out. All of a sudden it just sounds like someone's right by your window talking. It's like, what the fuck? That'll wake you up. So, and I'll probably do another talk later in a few hours or something. There's just so much. It was like, I gotta say this stuff, but it seems like, and on the Schumann, this was kind of cool, because I just saw a girl showing it. And she said, like, on November, I think it was November 3rd. Today's the November 4th. It's one more day. Like, this is so crazy. At like 3:35 Central Time. I don't know. She had it all out. But the Schumann changed. It changed colors. The intensity, where it was usually white, now it's this like lime green. It's like it's changed somehow on the color thing. Like, I might be wrong on the thing, but there was a difference in the green. And she said there's a switch in the consciousness. She said, have you noticed so many more people waking up? Just wait and see, because these people just don't even know. It's going to be the roughest. It's going to be the people that are the deepest. And they're the ones that are the most triggering. They're the ones that we just look at as like, what the mental fucking illness? And they're all sitting here saying, not all of them, but it's the, you know, in their narrative, in their accepted, you know, conversations, that in the future, that MAGA people will be studied, this giant cult, and it will be studied. And in the future, they'll be so happy to be able to tell their kids and their grandkids that they had nothing to do with it. It's like, God, so weird how this is like, oh. And I've thought this whole time. This is something that I was getting from my kids. I was like, you're looking at this, but I see this. And it's like, it's such a switch around. Just wait and see. When so much is just going to all of a sudden flip. Everybody's perspective is just all of a sudden going to go boop. And it's going to be like, what the fuck? It's going to be trippy. And, I mean, because through this, the little slow pick, like a woodpecker pecking away at people, that is like a, you know, gnawing on your brain, and it just makes you start looking at things, thinking about things. And I told you, like, I can't even believe, like, the whole fucking TikTok is this constant moral dilemma. And the Jenkins family, I think they're called, the family that lives in the one bedroom, I mean, it's only gotten stranger and stranger. To me, it was like I was already put off just by the people who kept being like, you know, you shouldn't be allowed to live this way. It's like, fucking hell, there's a lot of people living the fucking planet this way. There's so many people who live in this world that live below what these people consider acceptable standards. And that's where things have to flip. Like, you have to change your perspective. You have to see outside the box. To come up with this is the only way to live is just nonsense. And then to be so restrictive. Everybody has to live this way or they have no worth, no value. And it's like, you don't even really know what you're saying. I'm sorry, but it's creepy. So anyways, but the conversation's been going and going. People have been very focused. That's what they do. That's this whole cancel culture, because we're in the midst of it again. It keeps coming up. And I am really feeling that the Fred and Peanut is a psyop. It's a part of the show. I think these people may be really going through the trauma, but I really hope that their things are returned to them. Because, you know, I mean, it's blowing up, man. And it's at the rally. You got Junior out there speaking on it. Like, it's like, this is being the bones been chewed on. And then the people have found the woman who started it. They found the guy who did it. This doxing thing or whatever, this canceling thing. This is like, all of us go as a gang mentality and jump on them. That's so comfortable to people. And it's something that has to, like, be broken, and it's kind of like people have to notice it for themselves or something. I don't know. We'll see what ends up causing it to happen, for people to realize, like, God, look at us, we're a bunch of maniacs just jumping in for the blood, like, let's go. And it's like, man, people, universe takes care of shit. This is a part of the shit, though. I said there was going to be so much people being exposed and just like crazy. And she was a conservationalist photographer or something. I don't know what got up her ass, but you know, whatever it is, it's because it's written. Like, she had no choice about what to do. Nobody has a choice. You're on a, you know, you're on a design, and you're on a ride. You're on a frequency. You're on what you are on, and you're riding it. And so it's not like, you know, she could have changed it. It had to play out the way it played out. But in the play out, it creates a whole new frequency. It creates a whole new vibration, a whole new perspective. And we're watching as people gain perspective. And that is where, to me, it's like turning everybody back onto their morals, their ethics, their integrity, because that's the questions that they're having. But they just don't realize their programming. And so, but now there's more stuff like these people are like exploiting their kids. There's like fleas and stuff like that. They've got these like they don't, there's a bunch of stuff that just seems like exploiting their kids. Not, the husband won't work. There's just a bunch of weird stuff that people keep saying because people keep going and looking into them. But this person put themselves out there. And now they're even like, oh, she said the N-word. And like this, it's wild. It's like a whole fucking drama going. And there's a whole bunch of people invested. But it is making them, you know, turn on to, you know, child exploitation. Like, this has been going on. Like, it's hard to see once it's in your radar to watch how many people exploit their kids for likes and views. Fucking people hit their kids. They play jokes on their kids. They have their kids traumatized for fucking views. And they think it's hilarious. They'll stand back there laughing their asses off. This is why I said this part. They have not seen this other part. They're so focused on the mistakes their parents made. They can't even imagine they're making any. But they haven't gotten the full view. And that is where there's a lot of that, like what I was talking about yesterday, a lot of that is going to be coming up through this because it has to do with so much healing. Because it does. It takes these people, it like scapegoats their parents. And right after I said that, I started having all these videos popping up of traumatized parents who are being disrespected, unloved parents. Yeah, it makes me want to cry. But there's a lot of ones that, okay, let's just say, for instance, in my family, when one person stops talking to you, oftentimes it becomes 2. And it can spread to 3 and become 4 easy. And in an unhealed person, that it would be very, you know, everything I am, or my life, or my life purpose, or whatever it is that I've attached to. I've attached to that. This is my link to that thing. And so they carry that for me. And then when they pull it away, my life crumbles. And that is why a part of healing, it stops those toxic relationships or those things from affecting you. So they can pull free and they can pull away. And then to me, like I see these people who are like so many heartbroken people and saying the exact things that I said. That's what trips me out so much. Sometimes you can start feeling like, am I running this fucking place? Like, what the fuck is going on? And so some of the stuff that they were saying was exactly what I was saying, like the people were going to be saying. And they were, you know, like they just feel like absolute failures. Like them feeling good about themselves depends on their kids giving gratitude and stuff. But you got to look at your kids as also, they're their own damaged goods. They're their own problem. And so then when I noticed this a long while ago, having a group of kids, you know, and then when you become outnumbered, you see how the kids join together to gang up on you. And it's like a certain energy. There's a certain vibration that kids can get into. And so it's always that you're wrong and they're right. And so it's the group that's right and you're the one who's wrong and you're the one. So, and I know that, like when I was a kid, I'm sure we did the same shit to my mom. God, I remember being a monster sometimes. I remember this one time, and I don't remember her really well. I just remember how much I was frustrating her, and I didn't give a fuck. And I mean, to me, you know, all of the things that she did that frustrated me throughout my whole fucking life that you hold resentment about. And then all of a sudden you're doing something and they're getting upset, and it's like, oh, good. How's it feel? And I was 16. And so this had to be this had to be maybe even around the time that I told her what my dad was doing. Because that happened. There was so much stuff that happened so fast. Everything just went really fast in my life. And, because it was like chaos and craziness for a really long time. But then once my mom started having an affair, everything, you know, my dad had an affair our whole fucking life. But when she did, then everything went crazy. And it was real quick how she moved out. But she immediately had a boyfriend. They moved in together. And my dad went crazy. He tried to, who ended up being my stepdad, he gone over there with one of those, but it misfired, and my mom hit him in the head with a full bottle of wine, and it was always just craziness. But at some point, then when they were separate, I told her, and I mean, and this is still what she's having problems with, forgiving herself and stuff. And that's why I was trying to do that the other day and say, you know, the things happen the way they're supposed to happen. You can't just hold on to this stuff. You know, I turned out okay. I don't, you know, I don't live in that pain. I'm okay. And, but the guilt and stuff, that's the hardest thing that people have to get over, is the guilt and shame. Like, why didn't I do better? Why am I such a failure? And it's like you got to really go into the hole with that, you know, because it comes from a lot of lives. It's not just this one. There's a thing on the fucking screen that is driving me crazy because it's like a mole or something, and it keeps changing places on my face. Okay, let me see if I can just wipe it off because it is really seriously driving me crazy. Okay. It's like I'm trying to dodge around it. Where's it going now? And it's not even, y'all can't even see it. So anyways, guilt and shame is rough stuff. And, but whenever all that happened, so, you know, all of a sudden we had a new dad or a new stepdad or whatever, immediately my dad's gone crazy, and he's now no longer hiding his chick. And then, you know, my mom, and the new guy was an alcoholic too. So it was crazy over here. Both of these ones were alcoholics. The only one who wasn't an alcoholic was my mom. And she was like, I don't even know. Like, she could have been on something. I mean, it was you know, I have no idea. but she wasn't an alcoholic, but the other 3 were. But so she was dealing with that alcoholic, like, and he was violent too. And these 2 drunks, they were violent to each other all fucking day long. It was insane. But anyways, my mom had decided to take us all to Florida to Disney World. And she got money. She just went through her divorce money real quick. But my mom's had issues with learning a relationship with money the whole time I've known her. And that's why I see patterns play out, like, and I know it comes from deeper. And you have opportunities all the time, but you have to face them. You have to challenge yourself. When things keep repeating, challenge yourself to change it. And it's easy to just stay falling into your patterns, but when you do this soul after soul, your journey, you just repeat patterns, and you want to break patterns. And every opportunity, you know, every life journey or whatever is an opportunity. And so it's witnessing yourself. And anyways, but we went to this Disney World thing, and we were at a restaurant. I think we went out to dinner, probably some fancy dinner. She wanted to make everything like this perfect thing, and you know, she had it all together. She had money, and we were gonna have a nice family thing, and she had her new boyfriend with her. I don't think we had any of his kids. I think it was just her kids, because he had 4 little kids, and like, one was a baby. Like, there was so much fucking drama during this time. I can't to fuck. And it coming out, like, his wife, his wife, because he was having an affair too. He had 4 kids and a baby. And his wife had an affair with his mom. It was so insane there I swear to God. And anyways, so at this restaurant, I was just kept doing something. I don't even know what I was doing. And she kept begging me to stop. And I was just like, wouldn't. And it's weird when you can see, like, God, I knew it was getting to her, and I didn't give a fuck. And so anyways, you know, we've all been bad kids. We all, like, and that's one thing too, is like, when like some of these people who just think like, well, their parents are horrible monsters and failed them, and they never, you know, they just don't understand how broken their parents are. But the thing is a lot of kids also don't want to take responsibility for their naughtiness, where they push their parents, where they, you know, they push their parents past their limit. And, you know, I know lots of parents are like, fuck. I mean, like, especially with this world, it pushes you to your limit. You go home to deal with your kids, and you're already past your limit. And so, you know, it's this whole toxic thing. But there's so much more in these other generations. Like, the acceptance of child exploitation for views and likes and making fun of, like that stuff is, it's so weird. And it's so weird how they think that that's better parenting. So anyways, there's all this stuff that has to come up for people to see. And they have to heal it. They have to figure out, like, you know, why was I doing that? What did I do that for? Why did I not think about how it was going to affect him? Why was I only thinking about me? And how was I so caught up in thinking, like, likes and views makes a difference? I saw this kid, and I was like, fuck, this is a good story. Because he's some musician. And when, one of the times when Bieber was having issues, I think, you know, there was a period of time where Bieber seemed strung out. Like, I think he was just on drugs. He was speeding around LA in a sports car, getting in trouble all the time. He just seemed like a brat. I think during that time, when he was probably, you know, was really having a hard time with being passed around as a sex toy, that he, they were calling in this other kid, and he looked kind of like him, had the hair and stuff like that. It was a singing boy like that. So they called him in, and they said that they make miracles happen, whatever. They skyrocket people's, their, what is it called? Their careers. they make them and all this stuff. He said it was kind of cool, you know, when he's went walking into the meeting, they had all their people up with his music on, and all their people were dancing. And so he said it, you know, did make you feel good. You go in and there, you go into this meeting, they're all up dancing to your music. But then when the guy starts talking, he starts saying that they're going to skyrocket him up to the top real quick and all this stuff. And the guy said he got up and left. He didn't do it. They ended up signing Ricky Mendez, he said, but that he said that he had enough accomplishment in his early years of his career. He had made a couple $1 million, and he was still depressed. He said he saw that didn't do anything. Having money and having people know who he was, he said it didn't make him feel any better. And so he knew that wasn't the answer. And so he walked out of the meeting, and he has not ever regretted it, because it is where you have to go in. And Jim Carrey talked about that too. He talked about, you know, being able to make it and become so successful, and it still feeling that emptiness inside, because so many people are chasing the wrong thing. They're chasing something external to try and make them feel good internal. But the thing that makes you feel good internal is chasing things internal. Things that make you feel good internal are things like relationships, doing things for other people, like the things that build you up on the inside, finding what you're good at, and putting yourself out there, being real, being authentic. All those things will make you feel good inside. And so you got to work towards being able to do those things. And it's not that easy. Like you think, oh, it's so simple to go out and just be yourself. Nope. I mean, we have a whole fucking society that has no idea how to be themselves. They've adapted in toxic ways to feel acceptable. And then the people who were setting the standards are taking us in such a dark direction. Like, you have girls that think that that's, you know, being progressive to just show all their body. It's like, no, that's the opposite. It's when you have respect for yourself and you don't feel like you have, that's, you know, that's what you need to go out, that's your calling card. Is like, it's all sexualized. And then we've got all these kids that are just so exploited, but they exploit themselves as well. And I'm sure it comes from probably, we've already probably got 2 generations of exploitation of, because I definitely see grandmas and shit in here. And there is, you know, and in the closed, you know, in the other world, if I went and woke up, I could have been the same. I could have been like, oh my God, my grandkids are the cutest. Look, you know, and then people start liking them and stuff, and you just don't realize, like, this isn't okay. And, but there's so much of that backfiring. There's so much of everything backfiring. Everything that was going in one direction is backfiring, and backfiring. And that's to get us to see, to look at it differently. Because this is the change. We have to see it different. We have to look at it different. And these certain groups of people are so deadlocked, man. And they are showing such a crazy side. It is so weird. But that is what, you know, they're going to see in themselves when they, when everything starts switching. And this girl, so I've seen this girl a lot of times. She does astrology. And so I was curious, because she said, you know, and she's done a lot of predictions and stuff. She said that have come true, but she's using it by astrology. And so she was doing this long one on what's happening right now. And so she said that that shows Cammy is gonna, something's gonna happen. It's gonna change the world or something. Because I think it's about things, a lot of people's lives are going to fall apart. Like, they are doing so much to show. Like, this whole thing, even the other day, she went on SNL. And see, this is, oh God, they're so left-leaning. Oh my God, I saw some clip yesterday. Somebody was showing some clip off of it, of the news guy. And the way that they report on the 2 people. So anyways, we all know SNL is very left-leaning. And she went on it. So they had her go on. But because it's against the law, the FCC is looking into it because you're not allowed to do that. It's equal time. And so maybe this is even going to be the takedown of Saturday Night Live. I don't know. But that is illegal, what she did. And I guess, you know, the show didn't give him equal time. So I don't know what all the things like there's all these, you know, laws or things that pop up that, you know, we didn't know anything about. Like, I didn't know any of that. But, of course, you know, they're going to break them. So it's going to come out in the thing. And so they can't go on to a show without the other person, especially this close to the choice. And so, I don't know where that's going to go, but it's just like one thing after another just kicks up with her, you know, she's just, yeah, it is like the vision is, you know, in one of those cars that goes in at 360 in gravel and they just keep going in circles, just spitting out gravel, throwing everywhere. That's like what she's doing. Just showing how rotten she is. And these people just go in and praise her. Yay. A woman's taking us. And it's like, oh my God, you guys. Like, Jesus Christ. But I would have been, you know, back in the day, I would have, well, I don't know. When would it have been? If they would have tried to have Hillary run before Bernie. I think I even liked Hillary before Bernie. I don't remember. Because it was my daughter who started showing me about Bernie. Because I didn't know anything about him. And then I started listening to him. And I was like, fuck, yeah. But I liked the Clintons. So, you know, I mean, I can't sit here and judge somebody else when I was the same stupid ass. So it just is, this is how you watch how people wake up and start seeing. And then you start really changing your mind about shit. Like, you start being like, ooh, good. And one thing too with this MAGA thing this is a movement. This is a global movement towards freedom. This is a revival of energy. This is like Christ consciousness coming into people's minds. This is a change in the people. This isn't the party thing. But so anyway, so she said that old Cammy here is going to make something, is going to create some big change. And that she thinks Donald's going to take it home. And and the whole time from that point until mid-April, his charts and stuff show he's in serious danger, the way the planets line up and stuff. He's in serious danger, and it could be that he is taken out. And, which if that happened, I would say it was a show because, you know, it would be like to fake his own death to get out of the thing. I don't know. I think that he's here to walk us through this, like, dismantling the corporation. He's here to, you know, to take it down and build us up and take it down. He's here to bring balance, kind of. So, he is definitely going to tear shit up. That's how I look at it. And there's been a lot of trust being built into this situation for them, then the White House all of a sudden be like, no. And I don't think he would pull his power, you know. So, I don't know. If they did that, it would be maybe another PSYOP thing if things get really out of hand. But it's hard for me to imagine, like, the blue people are going to be willing to go. It would be the instigators. I mean, when I look at, like, the blue people, I look at, like, I think, the drag queen's going to grab their heels and what are they going to do? Grab some hairspray and run down the street and take on guys with these? Like, what? I just don't see the blue people as being fighters like that. They're more of, like, they're dancers and prancers. They're not a lot of, I mean, the women are angry, but still, I mean, they don't want to face a man. They'd rather face a bear. So I don't see them going out and wanting to take anybody on. But I think they would stand in the background of the instigators, and then they will end up getting themselves hurt because they don't realize they're being used. So, and that would be very tragic. It'd be very hard to watch. But I don't know how it's going to play out. But there's supposed to be a lot of chaos that's going to ensue over the next few months. And Cliff Hyde had said that too. And another thing, though, that she said that I was just kind of like, this is where I stopped listening because it was fucking with my head too much. Because she started doing Joe's. And then she started saying Joe was going to go. All signs point to something's going to happen to his health and he's going. And it was fucking with me because it's like, well, that's not the real Joe. The real Joe's gone. So, like, it was, like, too weird. And so, but, I mean, this Joe's going to have to go and they're going to have to see, like, the other Joe when they're going to have to see the truth. The truth has got to be somehow put into place because this is the time of truth. It's going to be eating people up until they speak their truth. And it's hard to speak your truth if you've got a lot of issues. Your throat close off. And you got to go through the issues. You got to heal your issues so that you can speak your truth. And so there's a lot of pressure on people right now because the planet is putting in this frequency of truth and honesty and stuff. And that's pushing people to be like, oh, God, how? And so, you know, how is to walk through your, you know, get off your crutches and start facing yourself. Like, so many people need to face their demons and stuff. And it's so from so many sides. There's so many angles. There's so many facets. And so, and that's why, yeah, it's absurd to think, like, because you healed one thing that you've healed, you're all better. No, once you get to a certain range in your healing, other things that usually would bother you stop bothering you. That's when you start being like, but there can still be some other thing that comes up. Like for me, boundaries was such a big one. So huge. And it was so huge throughout my life. There were so many times, like, I heard the word boundaries. And this was like when I became more married. And because if you don't have boundaries, then you don't have boundaries outside of the home. Oh, that's what my husband would get so pissed off about. Because you let people push you around, or you let people get too close, or whatever. When you don't have boundaries, it's not good. And I mean, a lot of people who have come from abusive homes don't have boundaries because it's like boundaries aren't allowed. You're not allowed to be like, this isn't working for me. You know, you have to just put yourself aside. And so it kind of just develops patterns, see? You develop these patterns. And then you have to go back and witness your patterns and see like, ooh, that pattern gets me into trouble. People walk all over me. They take advantage of me. They use me. And I went through that for so long. Fuck, man. And when I look at it, geez, and how it just built and built and built. I mean, back to the number 4. I am not shitting you. I have never in my life been with such an empty vessel. I mean, it was so insatiable, so needy, so, you know, I need this. If I have this, I'll be happy. I need this. If I just had this, I just need this. If I just had this. I've never seen anybody, like, I have to have a new car. I have to have this. It was crazy. And then I just always having to be drunk all the time. It was crazy. That was like, I would put up with that shit. Like, fuck. That's where you got to go in and face yourself, not their fucking issues. Like, that's your issues, dude. You go fix yourself. I don't got time for that. You got yourself in deep there. But, you know, why would I put myself through it? And that's where you got to be like, God damn. You got to go in and look at yourself and see your own neediness, your own weakness, the sides of yourself that you're not proud of, you know. And then once you can face them and accept them, then you can just be proud of your whole self. Like, fuck, man, yeah. I mean, I've made some stupid mistakes, but you learn from them. And then are they stupid mistakes or are they lessons? And so it depends on how you deal with it. And so many people get stuck in the stupid mistakes, and they beat themselves up, they eat themselves up, they drink themselves to death, they do drugs and whatever it is to hide away from their own anger at themselves, their own pain of the illusion of the self-image. And yeah, that's trippy. And think about that, is how many people create their idea of self, and then they can't meet that idea of self, so they beat themselves down. But the idea of self is built on, don't forget who's giving you the pattern. And so, you know, a lot of this stuff is probably, well, all this stuff is probably not the direction you're supposed to go, when you would just be beating your head up against the wall anyways. They're going to be taking you in the direction you don't want to be trying to go. They're going to always be taking you away from yourself. They're always going to be luring you, pulling you away from yourself. And so that is, you know, it's the challenge of life to pull back to center and not give a crap what these people are looking at, doing, or saying, or whatever. And it's a group mentality, so it's very much where you become an outsider. That's one thing that is very hard on a lot of people in their healing, is becoming the outsider. And that is lessons. That is because it's things you got to face in yourself. It's a dependency on others, a dependency on how people look at you, a dependency on their energy, whatever it is. You've got to go in and notice those things for yourself. But yeah, that is the thing that's really hard on a lot of people, is because when you start not accepting what the group will accept, you become the outcast. You become like the strange one. And I remember that, like, because that happened to me all the way when I was way younger. And it was a whole big group of girls. And we would, like I said, we would go out. I would go out every night and go dancing. And I had two different groups, because I had the more punk rock group, and then they had the more, it wasn't rock and roll, but it was like clubs that were like rock and roll bands and stuff. But the band I followed was New Wave band. And so I went to those two things. It was two different groups of friends. And so I was out all the time. But in this one, it was probably, it would have been the Vicky's band. That would have been this huge, big group. Not everybody went to the other punk club. That was just me and my one friend. I mean, maybe one person would come one time, but no, it was me and her. We were the ones that did all that kind of stuff. The other one was more of a, you know, mainstream. And so it was a big group of girls, and we would all go to somebody's house, and daiquiris were the thing. We would make daiquiris, frozen strawberry daiquiris, and we'd all sit and drink them and get ready together and stuff. It was fun. It was like pregame or something. And so it would be exciting. But it was one of them, I overheard a conversation, and it was something about pregnancy. And somebody was pregnant and wanted to get one of those things that is, I heard him saying something about, you know, who you can talk to, and you can't talk to Kelly about those kinds of things. And so it was way back, like, people could see, like, I thought different than other people, like, because there wasn't a moral question for some people. But like 3 years old, I had them in there. Like, the moral question started for me young, like the way there was like, wait a minute, what are you doing here? Let's look at this. Let's look at both sides. Let's think about it. And so, and I had that strong, it wasn't just church or something. It was a strong spiritual sense. Like, I'm talking to these other people. It's like, where are these other people? There's obviously other people if I'm talking to them. So there's, where they're telling us that there's no other beings and stuff. And then when I try and tell people, yeah, there is, I talk to them. And people would be like, oh, your imagination. And, you know, so, but like I've said, the receiver has to be receiving the information. Otherwise, you just sound crazy. And so, you know I wasn't the only one. I know that there had to be other people like me that were living that same experience. But yeah, there was like so as people awaken and they start really having that soul kind of dilemma, then yeah, you're going to have a different morals than the rest of the people. You're going to look at things differently. And what's really cool though is this giant wave that Peanut created, and it has really brought people together on, you know, the life of a squirrel. I mean, how many people we pass squirrels down on the road all day long, but the creating the humanity, the relationship, and giving the wildlife, the squirrel, a representation in our minds, as well as the people we relate to, the hard-working people with the pets who are just out there trying to make it. And then plus it's going to go even further, because this guy was like the breadwinner of the home. Peanut was the one who made all the money to feed all the 300 animals. So this is like, would be the hugest lawsuit, I think. I mean, they're still in their grief process and stuff like that, but I'm sure they've got to be having, I mean, there will be a constitutional attorney or something, like that is not going to be over. And there's stuff with the justice for Gunner, but this isn't the only pets that these people are putting to death. And I'm sure Gunner really is gone. I hope that Peanut and Fred are still being held, and that this is a part of to show how evil this overstep with this, you know, you want to say liberal, but it's really the government. It's really the party. I mean, the party of the people is the movement of freedom. The other is what we're fighting against. So we can label it down and say blue, because these liberal and progressives are the one that hangs on. And it's so weird, because they are the ones who feel the most abused, they're the most oppressed, and they're the most seeking acceptance and stuff, and they're going to their abuser. It's like Stockholm syndrome or something, and they don't realize it, because it's a whole enabling, you know. That's what's sad, is that these people are so beat down and what they're accepting, but that brings out such a nasty part of them. Like, I saw another video, there's a doorbell one. Like, these blue people are gone and lost their fucking minds. This woman, this old woman, goes over. I've seen two crazy old women in the past couple days. This one, she goes over and rings a doorbell or whatever, because they have a Donald's sign out in the front yard. And the woman's like, "Can I help you?" And she's like, "I can't believe you're gonna marry him." And she just starts losing her mind. Just like these, you know, they're triggered off of whatever MSNBC says, or CNN, or some crazy bullshit. And I swear to God, they put trigger words in there that just set them off. Racism is a big one. It was like, they just, oh, it's so weird. So anyways, she's losing her fucking mind on this woman. Like, lady, you have no fucking rights. And loses her mind, goes screaming off. I saw another one. And this was I don't know what this guy was. Maybe some kind of psychiatrist or something. I don't know what he was. He was showing the video of this woman. And it's just so absurd. And so she was being interviewed. So this is another old lady. Like the gray hair, like really old. I don't know. She could have been 55 at this world. But she looks like a little old lady. And this woman who's interviewing her is younger. So she's saying, so how old are your grandkids? 6 and 8. Would you let them go on blockers? Well, hell yeah. I mean, that's important. If they want to, you know. And so start questioning more, where it was like, you know, it was completely acceptable. Then the next question is, well, would you let him get a tattoo? Oh, God, no. God, no. It's just so funny, because being a tattoo person, because this is so in our society. They look down, like it's equal divide too on the tattoo or no tattoo thing. It's the people who are, hell no, on the tattoos. They look at people who are tattooed as crazy people, drug addicts, prostitutes, you know, something's wrong with them. And it's like they can't accept, like, it's just a different, you know, we look at things different. Like, and so she, it goes off on this whole thing about no way. And then that's just way too permanent. And then the guy who's doing this Stitch video thing, he starts saying, oh my God, can you, like, because it is mental. It's mental, you know, it's, they've got people so twisted up in their fucking minds. And what gets me is because I know the hidden agenda is the transhumanism. Not just, you know, here, let's all switch bodies. Because nobody knows. And, you know, God doesn't know, certainly. He put you in the wrong one easy. It's like, and to me, whatever this grandma was saying, too, like, for her grandkids and stuff, because I was hearing, like, well, I would be telling mine how to learn to love themselves in the body they're in. And that they're here for that experience. Like, it's very different when you have a spiritual perspective about things, the things that you would say and stuff. That's what they want to keep you. The religion is such a psyop. It's to keep you from becoming spiritual. Because spiritual will really guide you. Religion won't. Religion, and it's, there's more things too, where people are putting it together, how, religion is such a big part of the laundry system. It's such a big part of the moving, the kid, like it's a whole thing. And it was used such a psyop to control people's minds. And like I've seen it, like, and it trips me out too, because back when my mom was, like, she's the one who told me about the Celestine prophecy. She's the one who said, read that. She was like, she was reading Shirley MacLaine before I did. And it was weird because she seemed like she was into it. And then she even went to go get a past life regression. And it wasn't QHHTs back then. It was just past life regression. And I really wanted one so bad, but she went and got one. I was so envious. And so she went and got it, and she told me what happened when she did it. And she was really tripped out by it. And she said it was because it was a little older. So they were in this old cabin. And it was very, like, pioneer kind of lifestyle. And she said she could see all the things in the room. It was like being in the room. And she said then her husband walks in. But in this life, she knew her husband as her dad. See, this is a thing that is so trippy. And that is where I also think that could be one of the things why there's problems where we have incest in some families because of these twisted up relationships. But that's where we all have to learn how to deal with our impulses and stuff. And, or, you know, just live with your choices and face the consequences. And some of them, the consequences is only how you feel about yourself. But then when you start questioning how you feel about yourself, when you go outside of the levels of this world, then those things don't matter. And, oh, I saw this yesterday too. Because somebody was talking about Bashar. And they were saying, you know, I don't really listen to him. And, but, you know, I was noticing something. I think they were saying, like, he had said a couple things, but it said, the thing that gets me about him is when he starts getting so angry. And see, that's, what did I say? I said that on that Chiron. I said it on Bashar. And I said it on Abraham Hicks. I said all three of them, always, I don't listen to them. I've only seen snippets. And I don't follow Abraham Hicks because I've been a manifestor my whole life. I know how manifestation works. And to me, she's a little off. But the, and then Chiron and Bashar, I mean, like, I didn't even know who those people were for a long time. And so, but when I started seeing little clips of people sharing them, I'd be like, what the fuck with this anger? Like I said, when I'm talking to them, it's like, peace, brothers and sisters. Let's talk. What are you thinking today? You know, it's very different. And so, but I know I can show frustration. I don't know if I show anger. You know, I would get that from feedback or whatever. But when I would see them and see this angry side, it would always put me off. Like, it's like, I don't know. I just, why are they getting so angry? And then, so keeps popping in my mind where I've been angry, but I don't know if I've been angry, like, you know, I don't know. But anyways, so, to me, when I was thinking about that, I was like, the higher vibration isn't angry. So lower vibration is where you feel anger. So do with that what you will. But, you know, there's no guarantee of who's channeling who. That's why I've said all along, you got to go with the information. You can't just go with name dropping and stuff. Oh, well, Bashar said so. It's written in stone. Oh, Chiron said so. That's it. It is, you got to go with the information, especially like the Bashar. That totally was very telling when he started saying that if we go with Cammy, then we get to disclosure. If we go with the other guy, we get war. It's like, pretty sure it's the opposite, but the other people have been trying to keep it hidden from us for a long time, and now they've got enough people interjected into our branches of the society that it's like inject into the veins in this light. Yeah, that is trippy. Because so when he came in and when he got his 4 years, it was very productive as he was dismantling the corporation and doing all of that stuff, and then setting things. So it's like putting the dominoes in order to fall in different directions, and then there was all this tricking people with I don't know, masks, clones, stand-in, like, I don't even know all of the trickery that's been going on. And, but it was a lot. And the people who were in the dark, the, confirmation, the bad people that we would call them the bad people or whatever, let's just call them the vamps. And the vamps and their minions. And so then they, it got to where what was protecting them was taken down. So it was able to get to those people. Because it's so weird, too, because the protection that they create is an illusion. So, but anyways, it was enough to take them down. And then start putting in other people. That's why there's been able to be any kind of whistleblower. Like, we've had all these whistleblowers, all this information and disclosure and stuff. Because before, nothing could go through. Because you'd find yourself on a red tie. So they had to, that's funny. I had never thought of that before. He always wears a red tie. Except for when he wore that gold one. But, like, it's always red. That is funny. Because they always want to do him in, and he's always walking around with a red tie. Here I am. Yeah, that's funny. I'm sure that is part of it, of being up in their face. Because he slaps back. That's what's cool about him when you start recognizing. So they put all these other people in place, and so that is how this information starts changing and moving differently, and things start, and then that also exposes some of the people who are left, like the lower scale people. You know, like city officials and stuff, because everything's coming out, like fucking Oklahoma. On the news, it said that a whole district or something, a whole district of the law enforcement left. They all just were like, nope, they're left. I don't know if they're in big trouble and they left because they wanted to leave, but there's way more of this stuff too. These people stepping down here, stepping down there. And this is, you know, the action. And it's like taking down different people that gives more and more power to the people. And so, and this is all about exposing, but it was all this setup. And so we're in the part where everything is falling apart. And that's why I say this whole military thing, and this is like, I wouldn't say it's like a psyop. It's not like totally fake, but it is like, because this is their plan. Their plan was to just take us over more and more, to reduce the numbers, take us over more and more, and then to put the leftovers of us into these very small, contained cities, and then control us and contain us in those, which look at how you control resources and sickness. All of that is so contained. And then for us to be able to travel outside of there, because you know, we have to have papers to leave our neighborhood. So it's, and then it's all based on carbon imprint and stuff. And they're already starting this carbon imprinting shit. Like, we're allowed, you know, so much carbon imprint. Like, they would have us so reduced to nothingness, jailing us. Like, just look at how they treat nature. Like, so, anyways, that is their plan. But that is not what they're going to do. And then they had, you know, with the U and the N, and then, not just those, you know, guys, this side does not have control over the real military. Only the commander-in-chief does. And although the corporation put this person in power, and the judicial, all of this stuff is all corporate. And this is this break apart of the corporate and the civil, the constitutionalist. The constitutionalist is the MAGA movement. That's like, you know, we're only going by God's law. We're not going, and God's law is written in this, like, no man would be over us. And then you guys want to just keep telling us why you need to be over us. So it's this split apart. But they had to create their own souls. So, like, you know, we're going to give these the IRS. We're going to make these new, like, marshals or something. So they're creating their own. And then they've also got all their instigators, or you can call them terror, all over our streets as well. And that's what you got to really watch out. They're really going in hard on the women because it's an easy target. And so there's a lot of crimes going on right now. I can't even tell you how many lives I was going across. There's fires in, I think, in Pennsylvania. There's all sorts of fires. There's people mapping out now of all of the different chemical things. The toxicology things came back on the mud. But now people are looking up those big words. And they are really bad. You shouldn't be breathing them or any of that stuff. So people are going to be getting sicker and sicker and probably keeling over in that area. And, but we got all sorts of fires. We got fucking earthquakes and shit going over around in the Ring of Fire over here by me. On one of the maps, because so many people are looking at all this stuff, on one of the maps, and I was seeing the, this fault line, which the Cascadia one should go up through this mountain range. But this, they keep calling it, maybe it's a junction or something. There's something that they keep talking about. And they were showing this map. And so where I was saying over here by Seattle. So you're going up the coastline. Looks like go up the coastline, go up the coastline. Then you get up here to Oregon. And then over here. So over here would be like Vancouver. Because there's two Vancouvers. Like we have Vancouver, Washington. And then we have Vancouver, Canada up here. And so you go like this. But then there's this part right here. And so you have this part here that goes way down. And so it goes like this. And so I'm over here by the H. Then down here, they've got this long peninsula thing that comes down here. I think it comes all like from Vancouver and goes down. So this is the part where I'm talking about, like where the water has to go across. But Seattle is right here. And so, and then there's all San Juan Islands and stuff. So these are all going to be going underwater. This is all going to be, and it's very exclusive kind of, you know, obviously, but people with a lot of money. And so this over here is where Seattle, so see, Seattle is going to be like right on the thing. It's going to, but over here where I'm at, see, it's got to go across all that. But there's so much water. Like, we're already, like, in a swamp kind of situation where it's like, and they keep saying the water is going to keep rising and rising and rising. And so, you know, this could be a part that's going to be underwater. I have no idea. It may have to go up higher. We may have to be up like 1,000 feet or something to be out of the water. So we just got to see, you know, and that's we got to be prepared to lose everything, to just be like, let it go, because we don't know, you know, But the coastline is going to change, and people are going more in on that naval projected map now and showing. And that guy, the one who had gone to California and told everybody, leave. I can't think of what his name is, but some prophet guy or whatever. And so he said California is going to fall off the thing. It's going to go underwater. And he was out there trying to tell everybody, evacuate. And then he left. He went home. So now he's online he was showing the map again. But when you see the West Coast is going to be so dramatically different. The East Coast is going to be so dramatically different too. But the West Coast is, so like on this part, I'll do my hand again. So on this part, you have, like this is this is kind of trippy. God, that is trippy. It is. Okay, so this would be the Mississippi. Over here would be the coastline. So this is what's left of the East Coast, is right in here. It's a little thicker than, because I was thinking it was a little bit slimmer, but no, it's a little thicker in here. And so it goes there. But then the Mississippi is all here. And then this is the Midwest. And all of that stays like that. Then up here, this is where Washington is. And it goes like that. Only this goes and extends down a little more. Kind of like how Florida is. So that extends down. So all this, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas is right here. Texas gets chomped a little. But this is all gone. And Oregon is supposed to have like a little island. That's trippy. That is really trippy. Like, what the fuck, dude? How's my hand, like, almost look like the map? That's weird. So, anyways, yeah, that's a lot. That is a lot of people. And all of this, because California is completely gone, too. And so, it's all, this is just gone. And and I just keep on thinking there's got to be some kind of evacuation thing. Like, I don't know how the next couple days is going to play out. Like, it's going to be intense. I definitely think it's going to be intense because the emotions are so high. There's people who are going to fall apart, and it's so crazy to see because it's like, dude, what is your tension? Like, he hasn't even been there for 4 years, and it's the 4 years that have gotten really, really bad. What is your goddamn tension? How, like, it's weird as fuck. Cardi B, though, I guess apparently she did all of a sudden realize, and she's like, wait a minute, it's the other guys that are in office. No, I support the other guy. So she's changing her support into Donald. And probably there'll be a few of these that all of a sudden will come to their senses because they don't realize, like, something is going on. Like, I don't know what it is. It's trippy. It's like these people are so limited in their being able to see. And then they're getting so mad at the people who can see things. And they think that we're all just crazy. It's like, no, you guys are spooky. Like, you are so limited on what you can see. But so it's going to do a quick flip on all these people, or it's going to give us sudden empathy. You know, right now, it's very challenging. Like, it's like, God damn, you fool. What the fuck? And I just have to keep blocking them. Like, and then seeing these ones, oh, yeah, because there's this whole PSYOP thing going, too, where the polls, of course, because the polls are fucking lies and bullshit. But they're trying to mislead and trying to get people to not go out. Cammie's already won. She's already got it. But you have the people who are on that side, the daily news reporters. You got so many news reporters nowadays. I can't even tell you. It's breaking news. Everybody's got podcasts. Breaking news. But I do the same fucking shit. Yeah, but anyway, so they are the blue ones, and they are laughing about it. They're so, you know, it's like you guys are believing every fucking thing that they say. And you don't even know yet. And you're just sitting there laughing and so excited. It's like this really dark side of people is coming up and out. And let me think, because seems like there was another thing I saw that was playing out. I think there was a bunch of things, because it was like some kind of something was very motivating me this morning. I don't even think I've even talked about it yet. I don't even know what it was. Let me see. Let me think of the videos that I had seen. I saw this one girl who was just all of a sudden, she realized like, oh my God, this isn't an election. This isn't, you're picking sides. You're picking sides. And so, yeah, you're picking between good and evil at this point. You're picking between control and freedom. But you have to see it. But a lot of people are very caught up in the demon, in the mark of the beast and stuff like that. And so they're saying that, you know, it's mark of the beast or whatever. But that is the direction they want to take. Even Gators come out now and said we got to create a new religion that is more about where we're going. I don't know. It's more of a they want us to just be their slave. Like, they've got control of our minds. They've got control of our time. They've got control of our energy. All of that. They want that to be theirs. And they think that they're outsmarting us, that we're too stupid. But it's kind of like we've all been playing stupid. And then the power is going to have a big power shift. But in this part, the people playing stupid have gotten caught up and forgot that they think they really are stupid. So it takes them like turning them back on for them to realize like, I'm not stupid, because they've been so tricked. They don't see through the bullshit because it's like their soul had been turned off. But once their soul gets turned on, then, but it's kind of like when they start listening to their soul, now I see it kind of like their soul kicking their ass, like, I was telling you the whole time, I've been telling you. And then it's like, oh my God, I'm so stupid. Like, that's the part where people are going to have to really go through. That's why I said people are going to realize like, oh my God, I wasn't reading the signs told me this, and I did the opposite. Which that is a part of lessons. That's not because you're making a mistake. It's a part of your lessons. I've done it a zillion times. And so, but that is a part of where people learn, because then you start realizing, oh, they were trying to really show me a direction to go, and I was fighting against it. And that's when you start getting in the right direction, and because you're being misled and lured to go in the wrong direction. And so that is it's all about this awakening thing. But this is going to be, whatever is going to go down is going to be big. Like, however this is about to play out. And it's so weird. It almost feels like the silence before, like before the tornado comes and all of a sudden it's really, really still, which there was some bad tornadoes. Oklahoma's getting their ass kicked. But I would think, because a lot of things have to end. A lot of towns and stuff. And we are going to, I mean, that's going to be mostly where America is in that area. So I would think there is going to be, even though that place is going to be, those places are going to be left as land masses, they still got to clear the stage. So there's going to still be places that are just, the wind's going to come in and wipe them out. The water is going to come in and wipe it out. There has been earthquakes. In Africa, that split, there is splitting so big and so fast that they're thinking it's going to be two totally different things. I don't remember what year they said, but the split is happening really fast over there. And don't forget the one started in Turkey, and I'm sure there's going to be some starting over here, just like how we have the Grand Canyon. We'll have other kind of splits and stuff that will happen, and then things will start growing. But I think a lot of the splits are going to show us things. Like, we're going to see into our past, into the real. And there's so much. What was that? Because it was something about, oh yeah, I want to talk about that. There was something about the inner earth thing. What was that? It was something somebody was talking about. There was a few things. There was a few videos that was just making me see more of, like, people just don't realize it's all realms. It's all realms. There's not like distinct, like, the world is a distinct world to you because that's what you believe it is. And once you pull back from that, then you start seeing, oh, it's just these all realms, and it's all this magic. And so anyways, that, yeah, this other thing I wanted to talk about is, So there's this podcast, and it keeps popping up for me, these clips out of this podcast, and it's some duck hunters or something. It's these hunters discussing weird things that happen out in the forest and stories they've heard and stuff. And so I was hearing all sorts of weird stories, but it was making me think about how those of us, like humans, how we just think like, well, they kind of had told us, like they aren't telling us the truth. Because like I knew when I was a kid, like going into the forest in the night or something, you could be facing, you know, skinwalkers and shit. Like I knew all the supernatural stuff was real. And, but so people kind of did things out of just ignorance, and then they're not really thinking about animals as being, you know, they're alive. They have the right to be alive. They're alive. You know, they have the right to their life, and they're going to go snuff it out. And then, well, it's for my own good. It's for my eating and stuff. So there's all these levels that we're working through. But so the people who have gone out there with this certain attitude, and I'd seen some of that before on the Missing 411, so it's kind of like those kinds of things. And so on these we're talking about these hunters with these crazy stories. One was really kind of creepy. Was him and his son were out duck hunting, and they were at the pond thing, and they saw this big giant bird flying in, and they didn't know what it was. They never seen anything like it. Sounds like it was like, it's some kind of creature. So it comes flying in, and it's way, way too big to be a normal bird. And it hits into, you know, the brush stuff on the side of the ponds, the pussy willows or whatever. So it goes into those, and then it comes out of there and starts swimming and swims off. And the dad and son got so scared they left, and the son would never go back there again. And there was another one where the guys said that all of the guys, they're out in their trees. I've seen so many videos, too, of these guys out in their trees, and mountain lions are coming up. Like, everything is changing. And climbing the tree, watching. There's so many crazy interactions happening, but this is to get people to realize, like, you know, this isn't our opponent. This is, you know, it can be our friends. There's just one trippy lady who's got these black bears at her house. This one, I don't know if it's the same one all the time, is comes in, opens her door, looks in. She talks to it. She tells it to shut the door. It shuts the door. It is, I don't know. I think that there is animals that want to be a part of our existence. Probably the ones that don't want to, they're probably, you know, just like how we have people who are kind of mentally sick, like the vibration is challenging people. I've even heard of some people, like somebody was saying their dog attacked them, like the vibration, you know. So anyways, it's going to affect the animals and everything. That's why, to me, keep talking to you and help them ascend, help explain things to them as you're going. So because they can understand stuff. So this guy, they were all out in their trees or whatever. This guy was off. He had left on his ATV or something, went up in his, they have these little hideouts or whatever. And he was up in his, and he comes all of a sudden scurrying into camp real quick on his little thing. And all the guys are, what are you doing? What are you doing? And he grabs his stuff and he's, I'm out. And they're like, what happened? What happened? And he said that he was watching through his scope or something. He was watching somebody that was through his scope. I don't know if this was the one, but anyways, he was watching, and this thing was moving and stuff. And what he saw was either a giant or a Bigfoot, and it scared the shit out of him. And he left. They said that he went, sold all of his fishing gear, sold all of his hunting gear, sold everything, and never went back into the woods again. And it's, I think it's kind of like living in this illusion of, like, you think you know what the world is, and then all of a sudden the world shows you something different, and it scares the shit out of you. But there's people going into the woods and not really having any respect, thinking that they know what all is in the woods, when there's so much more out there. And just like in our inner earth, just there's so much more. There's fucking things right around us. It just is on a different frequency. You know, I just saw this guy talking about a haunting that he went to. It was like the most haunted place or whatever. And he was talking about that there was this light floating out in this part. And he said that in the history, it was the monks or whatever, they would carry these candles around. And so he said it was like that energy repeating. But see, that energy can be doing that. It's like you are tuning in and going. That can still be happening. Just because it's a shadow or it's a fade in our reality, that doesn't mean that reality isn't existing at that time, because in that reality and for that soul, that is what is happening. That reality, that whatever it's doing, that's what it's doing. So that's really happening. So and that is kind of like where we're going to be able to start going into other realities, where you can go into other things and stuff. And it does have to do with time travel and all of that. So, but it has to do with us like letting go with our minds. It's like our minds are too attached to this reality. They're holding on with a death grip to this reality. And they've trained people to be this way. They train people to think. Like I just saw, because there's lots of these interviewers too, street interviewers. And then I just saw this one talking to these two people. I didn't see the whole thing, but both people were saying that they were atheist. And this is the younger people, because they've been taught not to have any not to think that they're anything. You know, there's no afterlife. This is all you got. The here and now, right here and now is all you got. And that's why you have so many people that do so many things that are not good. Because they think, you know, nobody's watching. What does it matter? What does it matter what I do? And it does matter. And it matters because of karma. So whatever you put out is going to come back on you. That's a big one. Because like I said, that woman sitting there just going out, talking hate. And then her house burns down. So lose everything. So whatever energy you put out is going to come back on you. That to live life with no purpose, to think you don't matter, is a sad way to live. It's no wonder that all these people are strung out on drugs and trying to change sexes, trying to change gender so that they can feel better about themselves, over-sexing themselves, to try and get somebody to, you know, tell them they're good enough. And that's the thing, is like all those different things end up making you feel worse. Like, don't make you feel better. Sleeping around is not going to make you feel better. It's going to end up making you feel worse. It's strange too. Watch how whatever this lady play out with her, you know, there's no accident through all this. You know, this woman who's making millions by sleeping with young men. And people started saying, there's no way this chick's 24. So I went in and started looking at her videos, and it's like, yeah, there's no way. There's no way she's 24. You cannot be rode that hard. She definitely looks like she's got to be like in her 40s. She's got to be a cougar. And she's doing this OF page, and she's going out and sleeping with these young guys and putting these videos on there. And she just likes sleeping with young, like, yeah, I think it's way more of the other thing would be selling a fantasy or something. And that's what so much has to do with, is selling these fantasies, and these people get caught up in the fantasies where real life seems too boring. And you got to pull out of these fantasies, because it will take you in a dark place. And that's what, you know, keeps happening. People will just go darker and darker and darker into their sexual deviance. And it's like you need more and more and more to get you off. But you're going in that direction, because there's lots of us that don't need. See, I just heard somebody talk again. I'll have to. That was at 1:17 or 1:18. I'll have to go back in and listen. That was creepy. I don't know what that was. Maybe Stella made it sound like that. I don't know if you guys heard it. It was just like an echo, kind of. God, keeps being, but yeah, you know, it is like there's a breakthrough of our realities. I think our realities are merging with other realities around us. You know, it's kind of like the Judsons and the Flintstones meet up and make their own cartoon or something. It's like we're the Flintstones and the Jetsons are merging with us, and they're gonna, I swear to God, I just heard 119. It was like a weird whisper thing back there. God, I'm gonna be glad when this shit just is like, ugh. It is like, you're hearing things talking and shit. That was my stomach growling. As now we'll start with that shit too. Okay, so whatever's gonna go down, we got, yeah, okay, so it's Monday, so hopefully this is the Monday crash thing, but they're doing this in all their own ways. So if it doesn't go as like how we think, you know, I don't know how it's all gonna play out. Somehow we end up being off the dollar bill though, and we get onto the gold and onto, you know, natural resources and stuff. Oh yeah, that's another thing that, oh yeah, because Donald has said that he is going to do things fast. We're going to change the money fast. All these things are going to go fast. And as of the beginning of January, they're no longer allowed to put fluoride in the water. So they're going to come in hard. And then that's another thing with the RFK. Like, his whole thing is going to be exposing about chemical, all that. And I saw a doctor saying, and he was exposing all the people who die from the sea is they're dying from the treatments. And he said one of the big ones is that they tell people they need the radiation, and that is cooking people. It's cooking their organs and stuff, and people are dying from it. And so, and you're not allowed to say that on birth certificate, on death certificates. So he said that there's been this whole long thing of lies. So all of this stuff is going to keep coming out and coming out. And see, this is where people are going to start getting real pissed off. Especially the ones that have got fresh death. And we've got so much death going. And there's been so much death of kids going. Oh, my stomach, see, it's going crazy. It's got so many... when I was a kid, I used to be so embarrassed of my stomach because my stomach was always growling and always, you know, it was real skinny. And so it was just like loud as fuck, especially even when I was a teenager and I was around boys. Oh my God, I was so embarrassed. So anyways, that's just funny because now I can sit here and just be like, oh, it's my stomach. It's just making a lot of noise. It does that. It's always talking to me. So, anyways, whatever is going to go down. Well, if they put her in, there's no way it's going to just be to expose. It's going to be for a big takedown. There's no fucking way we're going through 4 more years of this shit. It's like, I think they did what they needed to do in 4 years. So I think that is completed. I think that we really are going into this big change, this big thing that's going to flip. And we have so much of that in the alignment with the stars and stuff like that. So this Pluto rising, whatever the fuck, is gonna flip it. Oh yeah, you know what? Another thing too, when I've been listening to all these astrologers and stuff talking about these transits and, you know, how the things line up, and it's like every moment of every day how the things line up. And then we all have how the things line up every moment of every day. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I've been talking about, is that we're all in this like little it's like you are right where you're supposed to be all the time. Every interaction is set. It's fucking in our transits, man. Your life path. And you don't know, like, you would have to put it across every person's in the world. Put across, like, oh, who am I going to meet this time? Who am I going to meet? What am I doing this day? But it's all written. It's all mapped out for you. It's all set. And so it's not like you have to get up in the morning and try and really make a big decision over what you're going to do. Because what you're going to do is going to happen for you. And who you're going to meet is going to happen for you. And whatever lull or wherever you hold yourself back was always going to be what you were going to do. And there's always lessons and consequences over every choice you make and everything you do so that you get a full view. And right now, we're just living in this time of this limitation where our view is being altered by a different group because they are using us. And so we are witnessing this in real time. And we're about to witness all these people come out of their stupor, come into a reality that they don't even know exists yet. And so it's going to hit hard. And at the same time, we're going to have so many things happening because our resources are going to be changing. That's a big one off the Nisargas. Our finances are going to be changing. Our relationships are going to be changing, but that's going to be us changing it. It's going to be us doing the work. It's going to be us. And that is going to be one of the things too, is where we start having more time, is the more time is going to have to do with the healing and stuff. That's why there's going to be so much stuff that has to heal. So many bonds that were broken back here when people disconnected have to go forward and be mended in order to go forward, because you got to release this stuff. You got to let it go. We can't just have all these fractured relationships and think we're going to build something beautiful on it. So all of these fractured relationships have to be healed. And so that's what we're going to be going through when we start going through this. Is going to be just a huge part of healing humanity, going through the process of healing, but it's also going to be changing us. And there's so many people doing it at the same time, it's going to be staggering. So there will be people who are in different phases, just like right now we're all in different phases of this awakening. And so it's going to continue like that, and it's going to be, that's the pulling us in the direction. But at some point, you know, we'll all be kind of like on the same page. And there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be going on too, about building communities and stuff, and getting out there and getting us ready. And then it's going to be like, he's already talking about resources and stuff. There's going to be more with the freedom cities and stuff. And so I still don't know if we're going to have some giant disasters that are going to happen before that happens. I don't know what the devastation stuff is going to be. I know that this is the fall apart of, you know, the governing forces that have been over us, and that it's already been being set up. That this is to pull our attention. This is to get us to all notice. This is to get to see the truth. And so, and then it's so, fractures out into so many other things, because it's all a part of the same system. The same beast is, you know, our medical, our resources, our food, all of these things all are under these, you know, the vamps' control. And so that is the breakdown of all of this stuff. And all these people who are going down right now are all like minions of the vamps. I think the vamps have been taken. And I think that this is like the draining the swamp is to see, you know, they got to see who's attached to who and where. And there's like this weird shit. This is so weird. Like all these weirdos with their weird Halloween costumes. Like, there is a purpose, like why Kim's coming out the way she is. But the Selma Hayek one, that one is like where I saw it, it's so disturbing. Where it's like, either this is really to humiliate and to expose her, or it's to be so outlandish and outrageous that it gets us to talk, so it exposes a whole bunch of other people. And I don't know, you know, I don't know. You know, there's so many people in this Hollywood mechanism. It's hard to know who's good and who's, you know, who's of the light and who's sucked into the dark. And I think a lot of people who are sucked in the dark, you know, some of them didn't even know, like, they didn't know that there was anything else. And they didn't know how to get out or whatever. And then, you know, like Lady Gaga, she's already admitted, like, her own desires are what fucked her. She really wanted all of what they had to offer. And I don't know what's going to happen with her. Like, I don't know what all stuff she's done. Like, it's going to have to do with what crimes people are involved in. And, like, I think innocently, I think, and she's coming out now with her manipulative conquest of whoever you know, if you're an intelligent person, there's only one way to go. The rest of you garbage people. And that's just same fucking bullshit, man. And that is, you know, Joe saying that all these things are for a purpose. And it's all to, you would think to the one side, they would start going like, God, that's mean. That's rude. And that's where you're like, oh my God, this is how these people are about everything. But no, they're just keep going, getting meaner and ruder with them. And so it's just weird to watch. And so, you know, we'll see how it plays out. But I don't know. I know it's going to have a big shift. And people are going to see a side to themselves that they didn't see before. I know that's what's coming from it. I know that's And then that's why it goes into this huge healing time. But it's not just each individual healing. There's going to be a lot of, you know, healing communities. Like, we got to rebuild communities and shit. There has to be people who are not in this part that are all falling apart, because there's going to be a group of people that are falling apart. And there has to be people who aren't falling apart, because we also have this other shit going on where we have to start getting communities built and safer places and stuff, because the earth is changing and so many places are changing, and you know, the land masses are completely changing. And the Valencia thing with their sudden flood was just as crazy as the other ones. So, and it's the same kind of bullshit with the response thing. The guy was saying that, you know, all these people were coming to try and help. And I saw all the people, and people were coming from all over the place to try and come and help the people. And then they started saying, no, that they can't be there and stuff. So they're doing the same shenanigans because it's global. We're fighting against a global entity. It's not just our own government. Our government is an extension of these people who are laundering, shifting money to each other around in here. And that is what, you know, that's this whole game. They take our money and shift it around to each other. And then they tell us that they're doing it for our best interest. And we just sit here and go to work and give them more money. And they say that they need more, drive up costs and stuff. So anyways, it's all, you know, coming to deserves all falling apart. But that is what is going to release us. That's where we're going to get free from. But there is going to be a necessity. Like, there are so many people whose homes are being destroyed in all these storms. So there's got to be a shift towards rebuilding, a shift towards where do we go. Because there's already people, you know, I think there's already people in North Carolina and stuff that are just like they got to start seeing, like, this is going to be dangerous to stay there. And, oh yeah, there was even one of these. It was just out there, yeah, I think last night. So see, they're going to keep those things, to me, as like the universe pushing people out of certain areas. They're going to go crazier and crazier. The inner cities, all of these things are just going to get worse and worse, and it's going to be really bad over the next couple of days. I even heard, I keep seeing this and I'm not sure, but so over here, Washington State, Oregon, and Nevada, supposedly the word on the street is we are armed with National Guard. We have all got National Guard because they're expecting, because it's so blue, that they're going to have an issue. And so, I don't know. I don't know how things are going to pop off, what's going to pop off. We can all feel the tension building, but the tension building is going to be what's going to, you know, it's like it's going to level the playing field. It's like it's going to create real change. So however it plays out is how it's going to play out. It's not like we have any choice. It's not like we can do anything about it. We can all sit there and, you know, but we can't, because it's already written in the stars. It's already happened. And so we're just on a repeat. We're on a replay. We're in the slowed down version. So we got to go through it and experience it, but it's already happened. And so it's going to happen the way it's supposed to happen. And we have just got to go along with the ride. And remember, that's what you're here for. Just ride it through. Ride it out. See what it feels like. You know, what's it like to go through this? And what does it cause you to be like? What does it make you? How does it push you? What does it make you feel? And so, anyways, that's what the soul goes through, to go through these experiences. But whatever, when all of this happens, because it's going to be changes in money, changes in, well, there's going to be such a shift in lifestyle too. Like, that is one thing. It is just seeing, like, the difference on the aging thing, and how many people have gone so deep into the aging, which, you know, I mean, that's what they told us was normal. But then when, it's going to be hard, because there is so many people who have gone so deep. Like, I just saw this guy yesterday, and he was showing his body, and I don't know how much weight he lost, a couple 100 pounds. And there was so much skin. I just couldn't even believe it. And this is the thing, too, is like I talked about this before. You know, when you stretch out your skin and then you cut all that extra skin off, that makes your skin a lot thinner. But one thing is that this is one thing that also is the part of why aging is fake, is because our cells all of our cells redo themselves nonstop. So our body is constantly redoing itself. There's nothing, but see, we got to be feeding it the right stuff, the minerals, the water and stuff like that. We got to be refurbishing what it is. And that's where people are gone wrong, but it's all been done on purpose. It's not like the people are doing it on purpose. There's a lot of people trying to take care of themselves, but they're given the wrong toolbox. So this, so this guy with all of his skin, and he wants to get the surgery and stuff. It looked like a whole nother person was hanging off of him. And I could see, like, oh my God, how uncomfortable it would be. And like, I feel a lot of compassion for these people who have gained hundreds of pounds, because I know it was out of pain. It was out of trying to feel better. It was out of trying to hide themselves. And so they've gone through these, and it does have a lot to do with gluttony, but it's the feeding, this insatiable feed to try and calm themselves inside. Like, there's an insatiable sense to people who don't feel comfortable. It's like trying to feel comfortable. And so, you know, I do have mercy, even on number 4. I feel like, you know, I have compassion. Like, I know that you've got real issues, but you got to face your issues. You got to figure them out. You can't just go around and just let them all hit into everybody else. And just, you know, that's that selfish, narcissistic behavior. But it's so much a part of our society anyways. But anyways, yeah, you have to, let me think what I was talking about. You gotta let go of shit. The insatiable, the neediness, all the things that, well, anyways, we're at this point, though. I mean, we're at the point, something's got to go. Something, I mean, big decisions are being made around us, like, over leadership and stuff, and it's very divided over, and part of the people, well, but I think both people are to the point of, like, we're done for. If the other guy, if like, the blue people definitely think, like, they're done for. If this guy wins, there's no choice. They have to leave the country. And I've seen people also trying to talk sense into the people about the stuff that they keep telling you. Even, like, she keeps trying to use the baby ripping out of your body as a talking point. That, you know, Donald's against it, and she's all for it and stuff like that. And this one guy was saying, you guys think, like, she's going to put it back on. It is already gone through the Supreme Court. It's already done. She cannot change this. So you guys are being misled right there. But there's so many things. Like, there's so many videos showing how she's misleading people. I don't even know that she's smart enough to know she's just a puppet. There's, like, all these ones. They're just puppets to their own insatiable needs of needing money, power, sex, not be exposed, whatever it is that they, you know, whatever it is that they're trying to hide from or whatever. And that's what all of these are all going to be coming to the surface. And it is very much like, I can totally get where he said you won't be able to walk down the street. Like, these people would not be able to walk down the street. This lady who called in on fucking Peanut. I'm like, good luck to you, sister. Like, you may as well just go find fucking Zimmerman and Casey and start our own little group. Now, Zimmerman may even be gone. I don't know what the hell is up with him. There's just some of these people. It's just like, once you become a hated person in the world, just form your own little hate group over there, because, you know, man, the doxing and stuff. There could be somebody, though, who would be on their side, that would have compassion for them, that also felt misunderstood or whatever in the world. And they'll build their own community. I don't know. Like, everything is going to go in this direction of unity and community and love and acceptance. And, you know, and people can be somebody who we think is the worst. And if they accept themselves and accept the people with them, and they got a great community. So who's holding who back? That's where people got to start seeing. all your hate that you're putting out is holding you back. And anyways, it's just going to keep shifting. But I bet there's going to be some abrupt shit. I don't know. I will, now it's 2:30. It's 3:35. No, it's 3:30 though. But, so I probably will see more stuff that'll go through the day. Today's got to be a hot number day. Like, there's got to be some drama that's going to be going on today. Like, exposing shit. And then tomorrow, oh my God, I don't even know. And it does seem like, jeez, you got to go out and get a bunch of stuff. Is this going to be like where we're not going to be able to go anywhere? It always happens like right at my payday too. Payday's Friday. And I'd be like, oh my God. So if it's going to hit at the week right when I am low on everything, and that's where it's going to go, it's like, whatever. Whatever it's going to be temporary. Even though it's kind of spooky over there in North Carolina where it's still like no power, none of that stuff. But, and they do have this whole thing about, you know, getting military involved and stuff. But I still say it would be an internal battle. It'd be like our military fighting the terrorist on our own land. Because that's who they use to do their dirty work. And that is, I think that is a part of a lot of what has been being exposed with the HAMAS and the ISIS. And that, you know, it's like it was like we go in and do it. Like they create this stuff. And then they create it so they can come in and tell us it's a problem and they need to save us. But it's them doing it. So, anyways, more and more I'll just keep being exposed on more things, and we'll see how this day goes. But I would say maybe later on this afternoon I might get it up my ass again to come on and talk about some more shit, because it is kind of crazy, and it is all over the place. But really, take notice is what it's really about. It's about resetting your moral compass, about really turning yourself on and taking responsibility for yourself and noticing yourself, witnessing yourself, directing yourself, you know, getting a handle on yourself, and, you know, and learning how to love yourself, love everyone, and how to have a loving day, because it's totally up to you. So, how about it? I'll talk to you later. Bye.